Now, I understand, and you have talked about it in Project Camelot, that you've had Kundalini experience through meditation and you've linked all your chakras. Can you maybe tell us about maybe how you meditated, how long you meditated for, and how long did that process take to happen for you? Just, do you understand what I'm saying? It's just a general question around your experience and how you did it, etc.
Sure. Thank you. Yes. Well, I, for some reason, I simply had the message that that was the most important thing worth doing here on planet Earth, was to reach, enlightenment. And so I just set out to do that. And the way I basically taught myself, I didn't go to a guru or any of those kinds of people. I did get a few books, and I chose the most basic way of focusing on the main chakras and using the idea that each, what you call the base color system, to cleanse each chakra, to visualize the clearest sort of pool of color possible that my mind's eye could possibly visualize, and also seeing it spiraling, so cleansing itself in a certain fashion, depending on which way you spin it. And it's often likened to this, what is it called? It's this little spinning thing. It's a toy, the child's toy. Anyway, that's a good sort of manifestation. And so what I did is meditate every day for about maybe a month, really intensively. I mean, I had meditated up to then, sort of learning how to meditate and all of that. And then I went through an intensive change in my body, in which I went through my entire body and broke down all the problems in my body. I seem to have some kind of guides. I haven't talked about this really before, but just a short opportunity to do so. So I did have a cleansing process that I went through, in a sense you might say in preparation. And then I spent maybe an intensive month meditating every day, and I was staying in a loft of a friend in New York City, and in Soho, as a matter of fact, and was fortunate enough not to have to go to work most of the time. And so I really just kind of did that every single day. And I had a breakthrough. It was a bit after that, because I had to move from that place into another place and so on. And, I was young enough where, if you're at a certain age, you have a natural ability to link up the chakras and reach, samadhi multiple times and so forth. And it is an ongoing process. You don't simply do it once and you're done. So it's a growing, evolving process. But I think at that point, I think I was in my early 20s. And so I've done it all my life, and I do have repeated samadhi experiences, and sometimes they're ultra triggered by power places, even to this day. I'm being actually triggered here. There are power places here, as you know, Avebury and others. Since there's so many, Silbury Hill, actually this mound here, we were just walking on it earlier, Marlborough Mound. It's a very mysterious mound, and it does have energetics. I can feel the energy in my hands. But you do have to cleanse yourself. I mean, I wasn't eating meat at that time, although it doesn't, ultimately I don't think it matters so much, like what you're eating. I don't think you should be drinking and smoking, so I wasn't doing that. But basically I was just sort of living a pretty clean life, and it was just my focus. And obviously focusing on my crown chakra and so on. But my body was completely ready to do that. Now, if you're older and you're starting it now, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get yourself into that position. But let me also say that there are energetics coming into the planet at this time that are jump-starting the Kundalini energy of even older people. And that's why you're starting to see some older people starting to look younger. Okay, and because that's what's happening. Their Kundalini is starting to get activated again. And I do want to encourage people, I know they're trying to fence off what I call power places on planet Earth, but those power places actually will jumpstart your Kundalini activation and can actually help you kind of go over some of those hurdles probably physically. But let me also caution you that in jumpstarting your Kundalini, if you do have health problems, it is a snake. It is a snake of light, and it will burn through the impurities and the things that are wrong with you. And lots of people, I mean, San Francisco is one of the most enlightened cities in this regard in the early year, I think around 2000, and started having Kundalini clinics for people who would go to a doctor and think they were having a heart attack when all they were having was a Kundalini activation in which the heart, the chakras, the snake was rising to the place in the heart and then reaching, obstacles at that point and attempting to burn through them. And because the person didn't understand what was happening, they would go to a normal doctor who, of course, would not tell them anything, probably didn't know anything. And they would prescribe a bunch of, prescription drugs and things that would then deaden the Kundalini. And, it's all over for the person, basically, as far as getting any further with that process. So, I'm not a fan of normal medicine, obviously, and, I have to say that you have to understand that. Now there's ways, it is involved, and so I know you're asking this, I shouldn't take a lot of time, but because you asked, I have to responsibly tell you, and I will talk about it maybe at the end of my speech tomorrow, but there's a gold cord and a silver cord. There are many books out about this, you should read them. And use your intuition to decide which books knows what it's talking about. Because there's a ton of people out there talking about Kundalini activation that actually know nothing about it. It's all intellectual. They think they know, but they have absolutely no idea. And I can look at a person and tell you whether they have it or they don't, and whether they're developed or they're not, and how far, and so on. It is visible, in a person's physicality. And yogis knew this, in the East. I mean, this is all process. Now, you can slow down the burning sensation by getting into a bathtub. So if anyone here is having this kind of sensation, you're having pain associated with Kundalini activation, then you can immerse yourself in water and just lay there, and it will start to ease and dissipate so it can go out beyond your physical body, and it will start to expand. That will help. Meditating it down like you would in a thermometer, bringing down the silver cord is going to cool you down. The gold goes up through the chakra, the crown chakra. So it's bringing it down through meditation. That just as you would to your base chakra. This will cool you down and get you out of what could be a dire medical situation. And there's much more to it than that, but that's the shortest answer I can give you.
All right, yeah, lovely. Thank you very much.